Dow closing on Wall Street 38 points in the red yesterday. There could be some big trouble today, in fact, for the world's largest beverage maker.
That's right. Budweiser has been in the news recently, now canceling, though, promotional events due to safety concerns. Reports now say the parent company, Anheuser-Busch Beverage, could lose somewhere in the ballpark of $5 billion because of a recent partnership with transgender social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney. With us now, Brandon Arnold, Executive Vice President at the National Taxpayers Union, and Hilary Fordwich is a global business consultant. Welcome to you both, and thanks so much for coming on. Our viewers are probably somewhat up to date with this story. Again, the can of the Bud Light featured the image of Dylan Mulvaney, who's a TikTok star. And when we were talking about the decision, I always said, wait until you see how the customers respond, because that's really showing you if this was the right business move or not. And Hilary, based on the prediction here, I mean, a $5 billion loss because of the partnership, what does this tell you about the company and maybe how they misjudged this decision?
Well, pleasure to be back again with you, Emma and Sean. A few things. This actually, I think, is the personification of that expression, go woke, go broke. Disney experienced the same thing. And I think what you're going to see, yes, is the public reacting. One of the things many, many years ago was what Nixon said. Remember what Nixon said? He talked about like the average American, and he talked about the silent majority. Those are the people that don't go and riot every day. They don't protest. You don't see them doing a lot, but they know how they're going to spend, and they know what their own personal values are. And I think you're seeing this across bars in America. You're seeing this as the average American, the silent majority, is reacting. And Kid Rock, obviously a music star, you know, he was obviously shooting up with a machine gun some Bud Light cans. That was something very dramatic. But the average American knows what their values are, and they're only going to spend that way. That's the reason for it.
Brandon, I'll bring you into this as well. There's a couple of points that Hilary was making. One, I would say the flyover states, right? The folks that many people at the top forget about. And those are the ones that are driving your profits, by the way, that are buying your product. You're talking a $5 billion loss, a possibility, again, a report that they could lose profit of $5 billion since March 31st, by the way. So that is, you're literally talking a couple of weeks. Is that a drop in the bucket for Anheuser-Busch, or are they actually looking at this?
Well, no, I'm sure they're looking at this. And listen, the company is responsible for taking care of its customers and taking care of its shareholders. And somehow they missed on both. I'm sure there are customers out there that like this campaign, but the vast majority do not. So this company is going to take a hit. It's going to take a hit financially. That's going to hurt shareholder value. We don't know exactly how much. The stock is still up on the year, but it is down since this ad campaign came out, since this publicity stunt was launched. I think they're going to continue to take losses, and I think there's going to be a long-term hit to this company's bottom line, unfortunately, because they decided to stick their neck out so aggressively on a social issue that they really didn't need to. Nobody was clamoring for Bud Light to get involved in this particular issue, but for whatever reason, they decided to.
Yeah, it's such a legacy brand. Of course, you've got the Clydesdales and the Super Bowl commercials, and being from St. Louis, I visited the brewery. It's really wonderful. But it will be fascinating to see how customers, loyal customers, respond to this decision. We'll keep you posted right here on Newsmax. Wanted to get to these unemployment numbers. We just got them for the week. Number of unemployment claims are up from the previous week, coming in at 239,000 for the week ending in April 8th. So, Brandon, back to you on this. What do you make of these numbers here, briefly, if you could, and then we'll get Hilary's response.
Yeah, there's no question that the economy is slowing down. The Fed's rate hikes are starting to take their toll on the economy. The employment situation is getting weaker. Job market is still fairly strong, but there are certainly signs of weakening. So I do think we're in store for some tough times, economically speaking, ahead.
Yeah, it's a give and take, a double-edged sword. Hillary, will close with that, right? You have these inflation rates coming down, as we got yesterday, down to 5%. The wholesale price coming down, so you're seeing a little bit of relief. But to get there, you've got all these interest rate hikes, so you are paying for it in a different way. But either way, your final thoughts, Hillary.
Yes, Brandon's absolutely right. And so are you, Sean. Bottom line, the Fed is trying to bring inflation back down to what they consider to be acceptable, 2%. It's projected that for every percentage point, another 1 million Americans need to lose their jobs, which is a very sad fact.
All right, we'll leave it right there. We appreciate the time of Brandon Arnold and Hilary Fordwich. Thank you so much. Always great to see you.